Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, November 15th, 2023, and it is time for another Facebook Live. I am going to get this shared over to my group in case somebody is looking for the video there. And then we will get started. If you are new to my Facebook Live, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. What I do is I come to you every Wednesday evening and share something paper crafting, usually cards, but every once in a while it's something a little bit different. And then the next week I will draw from everybody that commented on this video on Facebook. I will draw a name and somebody will win the card that we made the previous week. So last week we made this fun card, and it rocks. So it's just, here, let me show you one that doesn't have somebody's name on the back of it. It's just circles. And then you just fold them, and then it rocks. So somebody will win that card. That was my swap card, so it had my name on the back of it. So I will tell you at the end, hey, Nancy, who won that. And then next week somebody will win this card. And I wish Wink of Stella, hey buddy, is so pretty in person. Oh, you can see a little bit. So I splattered this with Wink of Stella. So between that and this ribbon, I love this sparkly ribbon. It's a very sparkly card. All right. Let me get this shared and we will get started. So have you started working on your Christmas cards? I, of course, have lots of Christmas cards from classes that I've done through the years. So I have probably a couple of totes of Christmas cards, narrow things. So I need to be sure I send them out. All right, we are almost there, and then we will get started. There we go. All right. So what I'm using tonight, or what I used on this card, the main thing is this Joy of Noel bundle. So this is part of a mega suite, is what they call it. Let me just grab my catalog real quick, and I can show you in there, which means it has two bundles and then paper and embellishments. Now, I didn't use any of the paper this time, but it is absolutely beautiful. So this is the whole suite. There's some examples, but it comes with all of this. I do not know if those are back in stock. They were out of stock, and I don't know. I did not have a chance to check anything before tonight, but it has two bundles, some embellishments, ribbon, and a couple of different papers. So all of that is included in this big mega suite. But tonight, mostly I'm using this. I've used one sentiment on the inside of the card from the other, but this is the Joy of Noel stamp set. And then the dies. So there's a die that cuts out this big set of leaves and berries and cuts out this, and then the little ones, and then some berries, and then the Noel, and then there's a couple extra dies. So I used this one for some greenery, and then I've used this one in the past. These are actually each little individual. So I didn't bring that card over. I should have, but it'll be on my blog. There's one where I cut some of those little things out of some, it's not glimmer paper, it's the other one. I forgot what it's called. And then for this set, this is the other bundle. So some really nice sentiments. And I haven't played with these dies as much as I would have liked to yet, so I need to, because it has this beautiful greenery border die. And then also this one, and then it has dies for the inside, so that will cut out. So you can cut this out of one color, like a green, and then cut that out and stamp some sentiments on that. And then same thing with this. It has an inside. And then some others that just make little cut out shapes in there. just for some extra interest. So I need to play with that some more because that's really got some fun dyes in it, and it's got beautiful sentiment. So all I did was I used the Tidings of Comfort and Joy on the inside of the card. So that's the only thing I used from this bundle. But I love the font on that. And then the last thing that I used, other than the colored pencils, is this Snowflake Sky embossing folder. So that's what I did with this white in the background. So you can kind of see the embossing on it. Okay, let's get started. Bring my supplies over. So we will do our stamping and die cutting first. So I did use, this is thick basic white because I was watercoloring, so I thought maybe it would stand up to the watercolor a little bit better. I am using Memento. You are supposed to use StazOn when you're doing watercoloring. My StazOn was pretty much dry, so I was able to do this fine, and I didn't use like a lot. Well, it's not really watercoloring per se. I'm using watercolor pencils, but then I'm using our blender pens to move the color around. So I'm not using water. And because this is photopolymer, these clear stamps, I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat. Just gives it a little bit extra cushion. Trying to make sure I get it all. There we go. Now I like to die cut mine before I color it. So if for some reason the die slips while I'm cutting it, because that happens sometimes, then I don't have to worry about, I've already colored everything. So I'm just going to grab my die cut machine real quick. And I didn't think the little one would work, so I'm bringing in my big one. Let me move you up a little bit just because you're just sitting right on top of it. All right, let me get my dies that I just put away. So we'll get out the one that cuts out this image. I don't know if I've shown you this before, but I like to, when I first get a set of dies, I draw around them, because trying to remember how they go on this one sheet of paper is a challenge for me. So I just draw around them with an ink pen as soon as I get them. Just grabbing my plates. So for die cutting, you use the base plate, this number 2 plate, one clear plate, and then get our paper and put our die on there. Line that up. And then put another number 3 plate on top of it. And then I just kind of hold it as I push it through so it doesn't slip. And mine is getting very squeaky. I may have to invest in a new one. All right, and then when you're done, get this out of the way. Okay. Then you have this nicely cut out image. I'm going to put my die back where it goes so I don't lose it. All right, now we're ready to color. So we have 2 different sets of watercolor pencils. This bigger one is new this year in the annual catalog. And it tells you on the back the different colors. I am going to use Real Red from this one and Old Olive. And they have the names on them, which is good because sometimes the ends of them don't really, like that looks to me oranger than Real Red. So we'll just start with that. So I'm going to color, and you do not have to be It doesn't have to be pretty. I'm just going to color some circles. And I'm kind of leaving the tops of the berries uncolored, because I'm going to put a different color in there. So I'm just going to, and I thought about doing this ahead of time, but I thought, no, it doesn't take that long, and that way you can see it. All right, so that's my real red. And then from the other set there's cherry cobbler. So I'm going to get that one. And these are all fairly new, which is nice. Again, that doesn't look like cherry cobbler, but it is. So now I'll go along the tops of these. Cherry cobbler is a darker color. So I'm just putting some darker color along the tops of them. And it doesn't look pretty now, but don't worry, it'll be fine. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to be in a rush to get it blended. So when you're using our blends, our Stampin' Blends, our markers, our alcohol markers, and I could have used them on this and they would have been beautiful too. When you're using them, I would want to color just a couple of berries and then blend them, and then a couple of berries and blend them. With this, it doesn't matter. They can sit here for hours if I wanted them to before I went and blended them in. So again, I'm just adding some cherry cobbler along the tops of these berries. All right, so that's our berries. Doesn't look like much yet, but don't worry. And then our non-holly leaves is what I did. I used the old olive on. Old olive. And so I'm just going to color the whole leaf. And then I'm going to put some darker in the middle like that. So just color the whole leaf. And then go over it in the middle. Again, it really does not look pretty yet, but it's okay. It will be pretty. All right, I think that's all of those. And then I think that's all from that set. Set them aside. And then for the holly leaves, I wanted to, there isn't shaded spruce, which is what I would really have liked to have used on them. Come on. I'm being persnickety now. So what I ended up using was Granny Apple Green and Garden Green. So I went over the whole leaf with Granny Apple Green. And I'm not worrying about dark light, anything. I'm just coloring the whole leaf. One more. All right, and then I went back with the Garden Green and just kind of colored in the middle. Whoops. One more. And then I also just did a little Garden Green along this. Just because it felt like it needed some color. All right. That's it. Not hard. So that's what it looks like before the magic. Not real pretty yet, but don't worry. So now I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper too. Now I've got, these are blender pens, and they come in a package of 3. and they last forever. They have something inside of them. I don't know. It's acid free. I don't know what's inside of there, but it's magic. So you just take this and you just smooth that all out. And now I'll go ahead and hold this up so you can see the difference. So this is the one that I just did, and see, it looks much prettier than these other ones that haven't been smoothed out yet. So I'm just smoothing this all out. And because I'm not using water, then it's not gonna really damage my cardstock. If you use too much water on our regular basic white, then it'll kind of start pilling up. But this is not a lot of wet, it's just blending those. So there's all of our berries, all blended. And then when you're done, you just do this until you don't see any color. You can see there's no color there. So now I can take it and start doing, let's do our old olive. Again, just blend it in. It just moves all that color around so that it looks nice and smooth. All right, so there's our old olive leaves, all done. Yes, the magic of colored pencils. I agree, Jackie. All right, and then again, let's do that until it's clear. And now we'll do our holly. So that dark in the middle just kind of gives them a little two-tone, but they're a little bit brighter on the outside of the leaves. I just liked the way it looked. Now you can use these blender pens with ink also. So you can pick up a little bit of ink from, like, if I'm doing stuff with ink, I'll usually just kind of put a clean block in my ink pad. But you can pick up ink that way and color with it. So that's another way to use these. And then I just kind of went just to kind of fill that in so they're not such lines. And then get my scratch paper. And there you go. It's ready for the next time. And the tip may get discolored, but that's okay. Once it goes clean like that, you know it's good. And now we have a beautifully watercolored bunch of leaves and berries. So, and it was so easy. Okay, let's bring the rest of our stuff in. So here's my piece. This is basic white. Oh, and I forgot to say, on my blog, when this is over, I will I'll put a blog post out there, and it will give you the dimensions of the papers that you need in case you want to recreate this or something like it. Oh, before we do anything else, we need to stamp our sentiment. I almost forgot that. So this is thick basic white. When you're using basic white as a card base, you want to use the thick. The thin is just not sturdy enough for a card base. And I'm using Real Red. That was one of the watercolor pencil colors we used. And my Tidings of Comfort and Joy. So we'll just stamp that on the inside. And I could have stamped some, I think in the other one of them has some, yeah, I could have stamped some pine branches on the inside. I didn't think of that till just now, so we won't worry about that. But you certainly could stamp some on the inside. All right, that's all of that. Let's set that aside for a minute. So now we've got this piece of basic white that's been embossed with that falling, what did I say that was called? It's over here somewhere. Snowflake Sky. So that's embossed with that. And I've die cut a couple of the pine branches in shaded spruce. And so we'll just put this all together. So let me get my liquid glue. Anytime I'm dealing with embossed pieces, I like to use liquid glue. And especially with small pieces like this, it's easier to use liquid glue. This is a new bottle, so it comes out pretty fast. You don't need a lot. I'm going to put one up here. You just hold it for just a few seconds. Hey, Cassandra. Just so it gets stuck. And then we'll put one down here. And then I decided to put this on with glue and not pop it up. So we'll put it on there. And then, I'm not sure if this ribbon is back yet, but it's beautiful. It is called Silver and White sheer ribbon, and it is beautiful. I mean, even the sheer parts appear sparkly to me. This card I decided needed a bow instead of a knot, but you could certainly do it with a knot. Now, tying bows on camera. Tying bows can be a challenge anyway, but on camera is for sure a challenge. So let's see. Because holding them tight is the part I have trouble with. Uh-oh. There we go. And then you can just kind of adjust it till you get the loops the right size that you want. And then once you get it tied, pull that tight again. Go. For me, they tend to turn out, hey Sonia, they tend to turn out better if I tie them upside down. I don't know why, they just do. And then you can move that over if you need to when you're done. And I just want to be sure that it kind of stays on top of the top of that. So it looks like they're hanging down from that. And then we can trim these a little bit. I left them a little bit long, but we can trim them a little bit. And then I did take a glue dot because I wanted to be sure that that ribbon stayed, that bow stayed where I wanted it to. So I'm just going to take a glue dot. And I'm using this pointy piece of my Take Your Pick tool because it's easy then to tuck it under there. And that way it won't flop around and it will stay where I want it on top of that greenery. All right, now the fun part. This can make a mess. So if you have anything close by that you don't want to get glittery, move it over out of the way. And you can use, let me find mine. I have a bone folder that is specifically for ink splattering because you can see this one's been well used for that. But this is the Wink of Stella. This is glitter in a pen. I wish it showed up on camera better. It does not. But I just take it and just knock it against something. And sometimes you'll get fine drops and sometimes you'll get some bigger drops. But it will just cover the whole thing. Oh man, I wish you could see that in little sparkles. It's magic. I love, and I think it's back in stock. It was out of stock for a while, but I think it's back. And then we didn't use any dimensionals on this piece, so I decided to attach it to my card base. And I'm doing it this way because I don't want to turn that over and smear the beautiful Wink of Stella. So I'm just putting the glue dots on the card itself. And then we can carefully lay that on top. And that will be it. It will be done. So somebody will get to see what this looks like in person. Whoever wins this next week. But there you go. There's our beautiful sparkly Christmas card. Jackie says she's never seen Wink of Stella. Well, we've done that in my class several times. We have a lot of fun with it. It gets everywhere, but it's beautiful. So somebody will win this sparkly, thank you, buddy, sparkly card next week. So I will draw for that next week. I'm going to set it aside so I don't mess up the Wink of Stella on it. All right, and now it's time to see who won this cute cat rocking card. And it was Debbie. So I will get that to her. She's actually coming to class on Monday night, so I will get that to her. All right, and I thought I would show you a few cards that I received. Thank you, Jackie. In the swap. So we had a swap this past Saturday, and you'll see a couple of sneak peeks. We had something that was called, On Stage at Home. So it's the Stampin' Up! Convention for demonstrators. And they're kind of transitioning to doing it a different time of year. They used to do it in November, and they're doing it in March. They didn't want to have an in-person one in November and March, so they did a virtual one for November. And so a bunch of us gathered at a church and put it up on a TV and watched together and had a blast. At the end of that was my Upline K's normal team meeting, and we had swaps for that. So I will show you those swaps. And some of these will be sneak peek, and I will tell you which ones. This one is from Jackie. She's watching. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's very sparkly too. And I don't know if that is the bear paper or the Walk in the Woods paper. It probably is the bear paper, but I'm not sure. But it's just beautiful. This is a sneak peek. Kay made this one. So this is a new set that will become, no, I'm sorry. This is available now. This is an online exclusive. So this is a new online exclusive that you can get right now. And it has different things you can put on there and soda cans. And look, she made the top and the bottom out of that holographic paper. And then this is the Delightfully Eclectic or something like that paper. It's that big stack of paper in the annual catalog. And just as a reminder, today and tomorrow, last 2 days, paper, cardstock, ink, paper in the annual catalog are on sale. So if you're needing to stock up on some cardstock or you want some more designer series paper, this is the time to do it. This one is from April. This is some designer series paper that's in the annual catalog. So is that ribbon. Isn't that pretty? I love these blues. This one is from Gail. So she took some ovals and made a pumpkin. And it looks like she colored some of that ribbon. So it looks like a stem. Isn't that fun? And she did some blending on there. Very pretty. This is from Khaki. So this is an online exclusive paper. And last I knew it was still available. That's that same ribbon. And this is the translucent florals. So this is a stamp set that's in the holiday mini catalog. It's not really a holiday set, but it's in that catalog. And then this is some online paper that goes with it. This one is from Sherry. So this is the Santa and Sleigh. So she embossed the sentiment. And I'm not sure. Oh, that's the middle of the leaves. So that autumn leaf set, that's the veins that you can cut out for the middle of that, for the middle of the leaves. That's what she used there. This is another online exclusive. So this is a new sentiment set. So Patience made this one for us. And this is no, I'm going to save that for last because I just have one other. This one is from Susan Erickson. Look how pretty that is. It's the, got something on it. There we go. It's the, I think it's Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green. It goes with the Merry and Bright Sweet. Hang on, I have my catalog right here. We'll look. And it's foil paper. Yeah, Melon Mambo and Grainy Apple Green foil paper. So she used that as the background and then wrapped it up like a present. Very shiny, very fun. And then this is a sneak peek. So because we were watching the virtual event, we got to see stuff that's going to be in the new catalog coming in January. And we actually got to purchase this one earlier. So this one is from Elizabeth. And this is a new Be My Valentine, I think it is. So it has a punch, and there's a heart punch that punches out the antenna, or the wings, I mean. And then a punch that punches out the bee. And it has these fun sayings. There's paper that goes with it. There's this honeycomb stamp. So this is a sneak peek of something that will be available in January. But if you can't wait to get it, you can always join my team and you can get it all early. Okay, that is it. I will get on my blog and put the dimensions for this on there. So if you want to recreate something like this, you can. And I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.